Alrighty. Good morning, folks. Tai Chi for gait and balance. Uh, Importantly, create this situation for yourself. You'll get the most out of the practice if you get two chairs with the backs of the chairs facing in and have them wide enough that there's some room here to work, but not so wide that you have to go really far to get to one side or the other. And then have your third chair or sitting back from the scenario. So basically what we create here, I'm just going to tilt this slightly down, is a frame. So you can see this space right here. This is where the empty space is where the value is. So we can lift legs, we can move sideways, we can turn, we can work on all the skills, but we want to have it framed with support, something to sit on, something to put your hands on, right? So take the time now, if you're watching online, press pause and set up your scenario here. So every gait and balance class starts with this setup and it works within this setup. So it's worth your time to do that and then rejoin. Once you've done that, then have a seat in your chair. Important part about the chair is to have it, I'll show you why. If my chair is too low, you can see how my knees are above my hips. My back is being forced into a less than ideal position. So we want to have chairs that are at least the height of your knees, if not slightly above. So slightly above is fine, at the level is fine, but just not below. Now, if you have no choice on that, you could put a pillow or stack a towel, folded towel, help lift yourself up. And we always begin this class and the Friday class the same way, with sitting, scooting to the front edge of the chair, placing the hands on the thighs, and finding our upright position. So the more you attend class, you'll hear some things repeated constantly, and it's because it needs to get embedded in our brain-body relationships and our understanding of our body. Zhongjung, or central upright. Number one importance, because if I'm off in position like this, let's say, and then I try to practice the next skill, which is song, or relax. So if I'm like this and then I relax, I'm just relaxing further and further into a more bent, bound position. But it changes everything if I can get the pelvis level, the chest slightly up, and the chin slightly down. If I can create this central pillar, now when I relax, an entirely different change happens through the whole body, and it opens up all the various skills of Tai Chi, which you can think of Tai Chi as not something fancy and esoteric. It's just the correct and most efficient way to operate our vehicle, this body, right? So, Zhongjung, central upright. Song, soft and relaxed and loose. When you relax, what happens is called Chunwan and Qingling. Chunwan is downward sinking heaviness underneath the chair, underneath our feet, underground. So that is the kind of stability we want. Not the stability of holding our body, because that actually throws off all the functions. Instead, we relax the body and allow this heavy sinking quality to go underneath. And Chunwan is balanced by Qingling, or lightness and nimbleness and space. So that's what you'll feel. It's a very interesting sensation. When you relax the body, when you get better and better at this, you feel this downward trajectory, but you actually grow a little bit taller. Not because you try to get taller, but because there's this, it's like a hot air balloon or something that was being held down, and then we've cut the weights on the hot air balloon, and it just kind of goes whoop, like this. It floats up. So that happens inside our body. There's some amount of this you can do just with your brain, just right now saying, okay, brain, okay, body, tilt pelvis forward, chest up, chin down. I've created the central pillar. Now I'm sending a message out to the body, soft, relax, let go. So there's some change, probably. There's some change through your system just from saying, hey, relax, right? There's some change. It's not going to be all the change that you need, but it's some. And then there's some amount of sinking and some amount of buoyancy that occurs just from a moment of remembering this sequence, right? Then we got to do things to improve upon it. So the first skill, breathing, right? Pretty simple. Take a big breath in through your nose. Fill up in all directions. Feel how that stretches you open. And then when you're ready, you just exhale nice and soft. Everything melts, everything softens, everything consolidates. And we just do that. Let's say 10, 12 breaths. So feel the physical change from breathing, not just the oxygen and CO2 interaction in the body. That's important, obviously. But really important is expand, open, stretching the body open, and then soften and melt and change through the structure and tissue. Certain breathing muscles double duty as postural muscles. So only through getting better at your breathing can you reach correct posture. So this is such an important practice. Doing it every day whenever you find time, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. All very valuable. Now we add another layer, more overt movement of the body. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, arch your spine. So now you complete that movement in the direction of spinal extension. James, make sure you take your head back. Take your head back. There you go. So you got to get the whole structure to move and then settle back to neutral. Right? So neutral is just head on top. And then slide your hands forward past your knees, hollow your chest, and round the back. And now drop your head completely. And let's do it again. Slide the hands back, come to neutral, and then go through neutral to spinal extension. Your pelvis tips forward, your chest lifts, head and neck back. And then settle to neutral and slide your hands forward past your knees and hollow and round. So let's get that smoother and smoother with every round. Let's do 3 more. Hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. This is on inhale. Full breath in. Hold. And then with the exhale, slide your hands forward, past the knees, hollow the chest, drop the head. Let's do it again. Hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Inhale. And hands forward, past the knees, hollow the chest, round the back, drop. 1 more. And then final time, all the way to this arched position. 1 more time. And then settle to neutral. Back to that, everything I just yammered on about at the beginning, right? Zhong zheng, relax. Chun one, heavy and sunken, Qingling through the body. Now keep that soft Qingling quality, light and nimble. Slide your left hand forward past your knee. Right hand and elbow pull back. Turn your shoulders to the right. Turn your head to the right. Twist. Back to the middle. Neutral. So always coming back to neutral and then going to the other direction. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back. Turn the shoulders, turn the head. back to center. Let's add the breath. Inhale here. Exhale, twist. Left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn shoulders, turn head. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Again, if this is your first time doing this, you'll be learning them and there's a learning curve. But just remember, those of you that have been coming a while, effort in the direction of remembering. Remember, right? Because we've done this in this order many times. So it's a great opportunity to train your attention, your brain, to hold something, to remember a formal sequence. And it will also allow you to really get more out of the practice. So you won't be just kind of stuck looking at the camera or looking at the screen, but rather you're able to go get lost in the movements. So try to remember the sequence, remember the exercises. That's why I do them like I do. Let's come back to middle. Hang your arms loose. And remember this third one, it's shift to the right buttock, side lean. Float your left wrist up, and that allows you to lean a little more, possibly even lift that left foot. And then change. We come to middle, shift to the left buttock, right wrist comes up, lean, and middle. Important thing to note here is the middle, represented outside by the belly button. Leaning, but the middle remains our organization point. It remains the organization point, and it remains. It doesn't mean it stays stuck where it is. It means everything is organized around and through the cockpit, the middle of the body, the wheelhouse. So that's Taoist practice, is we're loosening and freeing all the parts to reveal the control center of the body. And we got to be loose to do it. You can't be stuck, because then the whole thing's stuck, right? And neutral. Now bring your feet a little bit closer together so they're out of the way of the arms. Let's tip a little bit forward from the hips and float your arms forward. Touch the backs of hands together and lift your arms up to chest level. Take a big open sweep. Then when the arms are back, turn your palms forward and let's float them down. And then next to the body again. So we're untying, unraveling what's stuck up here. Let's do it again. So it's forward and up. And then open. Back slightly behind you. Importantly, notice how I'm not cranking my arms behind me, but they're a little bit behind the center line, and then they settle. But when you do the forward variation, there's all of this room. There's all of this room. But then when the arms get alongside you, there's just a little bit behind. Now we do full range. Go forward and up. Keep them together. Keep going up as high as you can. Possibly above your head, and then open. Out to the side. Down. Neutral. Let's do it again. Forward and up. Big, smooth movement. Open. And down. One more. All the way up. Open. Now, same two exercises in reverse. We go back a little bit, out and up, right? So it's just a little bit behind you, and then come over the top at chest level, bring the hands together, and bring them down. Let's do that in a fluid way. Back, out, and up. Closing together and down. Loose, long, fluid motions. Out and up. Close and down. Now let's go full range. Back, out, up, way up, over top, and then down in front. Two more. Out and up and over. And Again, the goal over time in Taoist practice, Tai Chi practice, is that you're doing these, you're executing the movement with less and less force and tension and more looseness, hydraulics, fluidity, and lightness, that Qingling quality. All right. Now scoot back on your chair a little bit so you're very stable on the chair. Let's just tune up the legs real quick. Right knee up. Grab the knee gently. Flex the foot. Pull the leg a little higher up and in. Think of that like a spring being loaded. And then push. And then load. And then put the foot down. And let's switch legs. Other leg. Load. Use the hands. Pull up and in. Full extend. Reload. Down. Two more like that, using the hands to support. Load. Push. Load. Down. Switch. Load. Push. Load. Down. One more each. Load. Push. So we're clearing out the joints and tissue. We're not pushing against resistance. Right? We're not, quote unquote, strengthening, even though we actually are making this more able to issue power, right? Which is what strength really is. Now, straighten the right leg. Flex and point the foot. And then tilt the foot a little in, tilt out, tilt in, tilt out. Couple more. And then circles, in, around, and out. And out, around, and in. And down. Switch. Other leg, point and flex. All right, so this, another interesting idea in Taoist understanding of the body, go ahead and tilt the foot in and out. Strength isn't about just firm muscles as we might think. It's an ability to issue force and strength and power through the limb. Go ahead and circle your foot. So what's really important is actually the ability of the mechanisms to move through their full range, right? Go ahead and reverse the circle. So if I super glue my foot tight, it can't function, right? If it's loose and pliable and functional that can flow, then I could actually issue power through the foot or through the arms or through the legs. So this soft, supple state is where real power comes from, right? Doesn't mean we don't lift weights and do resistance training. There's value there too. But this need for fluidity is very, very important. One more thing with the legs. Step a little wider than your hips. Lift your toes up and turn toes and knees in. Feel this up in your hip socket, right where your thigh plugs into the hip socket. Lift your toes and turn out. Lift your toes and turn in, internal rotation. Lift your toes and turn out, external rotation. Internal, external. Internal. So remember what I just said about the importance of fluidity and throughness to be able to issue power. So if your hips are stuck, then you can't get the energy down through the legs, and you can't get it from the earth up through the body. So we're opening that gate. Now lift your heels and go heels in. Lift your heels, go heels out, knees in. And then heels in, knees out. Heels out, knees in. Heels in, knees out. Heels out, knees in. In and out. One more. Now we're back to neutral. Now consider the legs were just moving, the pelvis was stable. Now let's go pelvis moving, fold, sit upright, lean back. Make sure that you move from the hips, that you don't round your back instead of hinge from the hips. Super duper key. This is the wheelhouse. This is the cockpit of the body, the wheelhouse of the ship. We want to pilot the ship well. We have to be in the wheelhouse, right? Sort of obvious. So now slide your feet back a little. Arms should be nice and loose. Body is tall but relaxed. Fold, and notice when I go to stand up, I don't just push down to go up. First, I pour the weight forward. So now I'm no longer stuck here. My weight is down under the feet. Now you can just stand up nice and tall. And remember, don't bring the heaviness up with you with tension. Let go. Let the heaviness go where it should naturally go, under. And let the rest of your body be light and loose so that you can then do this. So let's just do this a couple of times. The butt goes back. Notice that I didn't round my spine. I didn't round my back. It's angled forward. And then find neutral. Hips back, right? Spine is still straight, even though it's not perpendicular to the ground. Now, from here, just sit the butt a little bit. The weight's under your feet. Sit the butt a little more and a little more. And then reach back and make sure your chair is there. And then you can commit your booty to the chair. Now you're down through the chair. Now fold from the hips. Go forward so your weight is down through the feet and just rise up. So eventually the body is one liquid, loose, fluid whole, not stuck together, but spacious. And then the weight is underneath you. That gives you stability. And then you got all this function up here, right? All this freedom of movement. That's Tai Chi, right? And it's pretty powerful stuff. So let's just do two more. Fold and sit, right? You're just sitting down. You're not grabbing on. You're not forcing anything. You're just relaxing. And then you just fold and standing up with the same amount of ease that you sat down. And then fold and sit, just nice and easy. Just training your body to go, wow, I can function without clenching. I can just relax my way through movement. Now, don't sit in your chair, but imagine you dropped your glasses, you dropped a pen on the floor, something like that, and you got to go down and get it. We want to sit as if we're sitting in a chair. We want to squat down like so, and then reach down and touch as close to the floor as you can. Just kind of imagine you grabbing that pen, and then just push through the earth and come back up to standing. Let's do that again. The hips go back, and we, as if we're going to sit in a chair, but we don't. We just fold the body up to get our hands closer to the ground, and then we just come right back up. Push through the earth. Do that twice more on your own. So think of it as a Tai Chi squat. We're not thinking, I'm going to make my legs so firm. You know, that's how we think when we say, I'm going to do some squats. Yeah. But think about this as a functional movement, right? That actually the power comes from how soft and loose and lubricated you can be to sink and rise with no impediment without making it too forceful, right? So that's another skill. Now you got your chair on your right. Come stand in front of that chair. Fingertips touching for safety. Now just watch me once. Notice how when I go into my toes, I didn't do this. That's a lot of times what I see people do is they bend forward from the hips. So now we do not bend at the hips. See this way that I'm moving. There's this range of motion, tipping to the toes, tipping to the heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, right? A couple more, toes. Someday you might try this with just the lightest touch on the chair in case of emergency, but don't get yourself in trouble, right? Now, go to your toes, stay in your toes, and lift your heels up. Lower your heels down. Rock back to your heels and lift your toes up. Lower your toes down and rock to your toes and lift. Down, rock back and lift. Down, rock forward and lift. Down, rock back and lift. And down. Now, hands on the back of your chair. Walk those feet back. Fold from the hip crease. Stick your booty way back. Stretching and straightening through the arms, the shoulders. This is basically downward facing dog. Such a valuable posture. And then we lift the chest up a little bit. Hips come forward to take the pressure out of the posture. Now, very important, don't round the back. Stick the butt back, right? You see what I did there? I'm kind of exaggerating it for effect. I'm sticking my booty out. Stick the booty back and fold at the hip creases so you get leg stretch, buttock stretch, back stretch. How far in you get doesn't matter. The effect it's having on your tissue and joints does. So go only as deep as feels good. And just stretch those tight cords and tethers in the body. And then we'll come out of it. So chest up, hips forward, walk closer to the chair. Get your vertical. Stand up. Let the weight, chun one, let the weight go down, sink it underneath you. And then we just turn. Remember when we turn, we're weight shifting to one leg so this foot can step, and then weight shift into this leg so this foot can step a little bit back. And we're ready for the next set of exercise. Hang the arms loose. Soft legs, right? Try to not lock your legs. Now from your belly button, your middle, just shift more to your right leg so there's less in your left. And then shift so there's more in your left and less in your right. Especially if you're newer to the practice or you're really struggling with balance, you might even do something like 51%, 49%, and then 51, 49, right? You might just exist in this little space here, and that starts to loosen things up, starts to separate the congealed state, right? But eventually you want to get to where you can commit all your weight to the left, let's say, sink a little bit more through the left like it's a spring that you're sinking into. And now lift, and I'll turn sideways so you can see, lift your right heel and get to the tippy toe. And then down, and let's switch. So shift over to your right leg, sink through that right leg, left heel, lift to the tippy toe, put the heel down, and switch. Eventually you want to get to where you go onto the leg and automatically you're already sinking through it, right? But in the beginning, usually we have to go over there, we have a bad habit, and then we change the habit, sink, lift. But eventually it's as you sink, you lift. And as you sink, you lift. And as you sink, you lift. And as you sink, you lift. Next exercise. Hand on the chair to give you confidence to sink through the left leg, tippy toe, lift a little bit. Place the foot down and switch. Down through the right leg so you can lift the tippy toe, float, down, shift. Eventually this one too is just sink, lift, sink, lift. An important part of this is that when I'm changing to this leg and this leg, there's no part of me that's doing that, right? I'm not doing this and then this, right? That's going to make your ship start to really list and maybe capsize, right? So it's about sinking down, but keeping the vertical. Now, hand on the chair. Let's go full range. We sink down through the left. Right foot is empty. Lift and down. We're going to repeat on this right leg. And we're also adding one bit to this that you're going to, let me see, I'll turn sideways so you can see. We're going up, down, and swing the leg a little behind. So I'll turn this way so you can see it. So it's from the hip back, and then we go forward, up, down, and back. We're just trying to get this loosened up, this root of the leg back, right? Up, back. And now switch, shift. Other leg forward and up. Hover it and swing it just a little bit behind. Forward and up. And a little bit behind. Forward and up. Remember to keep your crown as if floating. So now we've cleared the hip a little bit better. Now let's switch each time. Shift into your left leg, right leg up and down. Shift into your right so your left leg can lift and lower. Switch, lift and lower. Switch, lift, lower. One more each. All right. Now, make sure that you are standing somewhat back from your chair, but you can still touch it with your hand. I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see. Next exercise, no hands. Put all the weight into your left leg, right heel touch in front. Bring that foot back next to your left foot and shift into your right leg and your left foot out in front. Bring it back, shift, your right foot empty, step. Bring it back, shift, step. People forget this. When it's time to walk forward, people just go. They sort of fall and pick up the foot. And you can see if I do that, let's say my foot doesn't come with me or it catches on the carpet, I've already pot committed and now I'm going to have trouble. Versus here, you're sinking down right where you are and putting that foot out there. So now have your right foot out there. Then you commit to the right leg. And then commit to the left leg. And commit to the right leg. And commit to the left leg. Important bit here, Chun 1 is down. So we're still just going down. I'm not going forward. I'm exaggerating what we do. You can see how that's getting me in trouble. Whereas if I just sink through my leg, I'm good. Shift back. Forward. Now let's add challenge here. Stay in your back leg, fingertips touch the chair. Float that empty front leg, straight leg float from the hip. And then commit 100% to that leg. Back leg like little flamingos. Bend the knee, put the toe down, and then commit down through the back leg, front leg empty, float. Down. And commit. And then back leg. All right. And imagine, place a little teacup right on your head. Relaxed body should allow you to float along with that teacup without spilling. Now the weight down through your back leg, hand on the chair, let's go full lift. Down, shift. And then back leg, we bring that knee forward and up. Reach the toe behind with no body weight. Then shift the weight into the leg, down. Lift the front, down with no body weight, and then commit all the body weight. Then your back leg, bring that knee forward and up, back, and then commit all the body weight. One more. Up, down, shift. Up, down, shift. Switch sides. Right foot next to left foot. Side step, shift. Now all the weight in your right leg, left foot out. Let's do this exercise again, just switching. Bring the foot back, change, step. Back, change, step. Notice how my body does not advance forward in the room at all. Just because I'm stepping a foot forward doesn't mean I'm stuck to that foot being fulled forward. We want to empty, Now left foot in front. Now commit to that leg. That moves the body forward. Commit to the leg. That moves the body back. Commit and commit. Commit and commit. 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 Now stay in your back leg. Touch the chair. This front leg, lift from the hip, lower, and then commit all the way. So the body's moved forward, you're committed, you're rooted. Back leg is now free to flamingo. Down, shift. Commit all the way down through you, body loose. This empty chingling quality in the leg allows you to lift it. And then commit all the way down through the front leg, so now your back leg is empty. Commit. So we got one middle and two legs. And the legs are not double weighted all the same all the time like two stilts, but rather they're two springs. One is the sinking spring and the other is the released spring. So now left hand on the chair, bring that left leg up and all the way down with no body weight, and then commit all the way through that spring. Let it take the weight, kind of coils like a spring. Now this leg empty can go up and back, and then commit. Load that back leg, feel the looseness of the front leg, lift, lower, and load the front leg. Lift, back, and then load the back leg. So if you're just doing what I'm saying with the middle and the two legs, you'll notice you moved forward and you moved backwards in space, but not because you're doing it in some way. You're just along for the ride as you're doing yin and yang separation with the ground. Right? Back to the first side. And all the weight in your left leg. Right foot in front. Now go commit, step, commit. And then reversing by commit, this front leg empty, float it back and just touch the floor empty, and then commit. You got your chair nearby to help you the whole way. We go commit, step, commit, and then reverse. Commit, step, commit. So again, the skill is called separation of empty and full. Totally full, totally empty. Excuse me. And then totally full, totally empty. Because it's empty, it can step. And then totally full, totally empty. And reverse. Now, level 2. Hand on chair, we go float, down, shift. Now this foot empty, step over, and then shift. And then the back leg empty, flamingo, down, and then shift. Front leg empty, can float, tuck, and reach. And then we commit. But we loaded the back leg so the front leg could lift. And then we loaded that front leg to the back leg. Move. And then we load the front leg so the back leg is free. Middle, two legs. Separate empty and full. And we just do the same thing for the additional challenge of full lift, down, shift. And then full range here. Heel, knee, foot, down. See, I still haven't committed to it yet. Now, this back leg forward and up. Reach it behind. Then commit. Now this leg, the empty leg, it's got to be able to fold all the way up and extend without any weight in it. Now like a extension cord that we plug into the earth. This now can be unplugged. Then we plug, So this one can unplug. And then we plug. This one's unplugged. Middle. Plugged. So this is unplugged. Right? It's extendable. Movable. Then plug. So this one. Switch sides. Over to your other chair. All the weight in your right leg. And remember, if you're confused by my rights and lefts, it's because I'm being your mirror. So I'm saying right, but I'm doing my left, let's say. But as a mirror, my left looks like your right. So I hope that's not too confusing. Your left foot in front. Now, level one, we just plug in through that front leg. Back leg is empty. Step. And then plug in. And then plug in, moving backwards by going down. Step with no body weight. And then commit. Plug in. See if you can smooth that out so it just feels like walking. Plug, step, plug. And then plug, step, plug. Teacup, just floating along. Plug, step, plug. Plug, step, plug. We add challenge. Fingertips on chair, float, down, plug in. Now the back leg's unplugged so it can float. And then we commit, so the other leg's unplugged. And then commit. Front leg empty, float, tuck. That elongation, right? That important move where I'm not stuck to the leg going back, but I can extend it while I stay where I am. Then I can close to that leg. And I can close or connect to that leg. This one is free and it's extended, and then I connect to it, plug in through it. Soft, loose, long. Commit. Let's go full range now. Use the chair. This unplugged leg can fold all the way up, extend all the way out. Commit to it. Now that I've filled this one and this one's empty, it can fold and lift and extend down. Commit. And then this leg's free. Up, back. Commit. Up, tuck, reach. Commit. Weight down through the back leg, lift and lower. Down. Full range. Down. Lift. Down. Sorry if I lost you guys there. It looked like it glitched out for a moment. Great job. So now, move over to the left side of your space and then turn downrange. So we got these two chairs giving us some emergency support, and then we've got a big old runway out in front. Let's again do that very important exercise of the weight in your right leg, left heel touch. Bring it back and switch. So this is one that's good to do. Let's say you're at a stoplight or at a crossing walk or something, and you're just standing there. You don't want to get stuck, right? You don't want to hold your body. So just shift into one leg and put this heel out and keep it empty. And then it's ready for when it's time to walk, right? Step and then shift. So level one of this exercise is broken into these two events of step without shifting, shift without stepping, but get to the tippy toe, step without shifting, shift without stepping, right? So we're slowing it down and breaking it into its events in reverse, shift, step, shift. If you can mark these points of shift without step, step without shift, shift without step. If you can do that, then you earn the ability to flow it a bit, right? So it's at first it's connect the dots. It's, you know, like a square they often talk about. It's kind of got edges and corners. And then we just go shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step, right? But you make sure you're still doing the all the weight in one, no weight in the other, and then all the weight in one and none in the other, and all the weight. So if that feels clunky and clumsy and dangerous when you try to speed up, go back to the first variation of shift, step, shift, step. Importantly, notice that my body moves forward when I shift, but it doesn't move forward when I step. It does move forward. It doesn't. It does. It doesn't. It does. And then backwards. It moves backwards when I shift. It doesn't move backwards when I step. It does move back as I plug in. It doesn't move back as I step. It moves back as I plug. It doesn't when I step. It does. It doesn't. And then that would flow like boom, boom. So now it's as if my body's just going forward, but I'm still having moments where I'm going, one is full, one is empty, other full, other empty, other full, right? And that's the skill. Now turn and face forward. Shift all the way to your left leg, right foot out, right foot in. Right foot out, right foot in. Out, in. And notice again, my body is not moving, but the leg is moving. The foot is moving. Now the foot out. Now commit the weight down through your right leg, the body moves. Commit the weight down through your left leg, body moves sideways. Body moves sideways. Teacup still balanced. Middle. Organization point. Full, empty. Full, empty. Now, your empty left leg, in, out. In, out. Teacup, still balanced. So, James, notice what I'm doing. I'm not, so when you're stepping out, your body's going there and then it's coming back. The body should not move. See my body? Not moving. So that's your goal, is commit 100% to the right leg and then just step. Even if all you do is step this far, try to step without your body moving. Now bring your feet together. Now we shift to the left. Right foot is empty. Shift to the right, and it's down the right. Left foot empty. Down through the left. Right foot empty. Down through the right. Right foot empty. Keep going. Okay, good to know, Lana. Bye. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Hope you feel better soon. Okay, so now let's put all those together. We go down through the left. Right foot is free to step. Step it out. Down through the right. Left foot is free. Step. Down through the left. Right foot free. Step. Down through the right. Left foot free. Step. Teacup. Feel it. Really imagine it on your head and realize there's a way to move where you're not rocking and tipping and creating all this chaos through the body. And it's really when we're soft. Let's go back the way we came. Shift. Step. Shift. So if you're coming to the Friday class, which I highly recommend, we spend more time with the upper body choreography of Tai Chi, you know, the bear movements and the brush knee and the cloud and all these beautiful moves on the Friday class. And then in this class, we try and get an experience of blending the stepping and the moving and the upper body together. So let's do that now. Right foot steps out. We go shift into the right leg, turn the body just a little bit, and sweep your hands across to the right. Now, shift to the left leg. Notice the movement of the body. Turn the body. That brings the hands across, and then finish by sweeping those hands through. This is the simplest possible advanced Tai Chi, or intermediate, we'll call it Tai Chi. Shift, then turn, then brush and sweep. Left foot empty, step in. Now shift the weight down through the left leg, turn the body, brush and sweep. Right foot is empty, step out. Now we're traveling across the room. Shift and turn, brush, sweep. Left foot is empty, step in. Go into your left leg, turn the body, brush and sweep. Right foot is empty, step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. That's all a nice flow. Left foot empty, step in. Shift down through the left leg, turn, brush, and sweep. Right foot is empty, step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. So eventually that's just like a wave flowing over this way. Left foot steps in. And then shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step out. Right? Loose. Right? Light. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. And when you reach the end of your runway, you go back. Bring the left foot in, left foot out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Right foot empty, step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Left foot empty, step out. Shift and turn, brush and sweep. Right foot empty, step it in. Shift and turn, brush and sweep. Left foot empty, step out. A 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a shift is 1, a turn is 2, a hands is 3, a leg step is 4. A leg, a turn, a hands, a foot. Change the leg, turn body, then hands, foot. Shift, turn, brush. Let's go back the way we came. Step in, step out. Now, just to add a little extra something as if you needed that, right? Left hand high, right hand low. We go shift and turn, brush, knee, swap the fish. Bring the left foot in. As you bring that left foot in, the hands change. What is high goes low, what is low goes high. Now shift into your left leg, turn the body, brush knee, and swap. As you step, the hands change. Shift a leg, turn the body, brush and swap. And then as you step, change the hand. What is high goes low, what is low goes high. Then shift into your left leg, turn, brush knee, and swap. As the arms change, you step. Shift, turn, brush, swap. Arms change and step. 1, turn body 2, arms is 3, and then changing arms and stepping is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Let's go back the way we came. Step the left foot out. Shift and turn, brush and swap. Arms change as you step in. Change the weight, turn the body. The arms go across, and then step and arms change. So this would be called storing. We're stored and ready. Then we're issuing the thing. We're doing the thing, right? The brush, knee, and swap the fish. Then we're releasing, and then we're stored. Ready to go. Now unleash. Shift and turn. Brush. Swap. Releasing as you step. Storing and ready. And then from your middle, shift, turn, brush, swap. Arms change as you step from your middle. So more and more and more, just take your mind and let it settle like a stone drops through a pond and settles on the bank or on the bed, the pond bed, right here in the belly. And then just move from there. Your head's along for the ride, your arms along for the ride, legs, everything's connected at this place in the middle. And you're training yourself to have a functioning middle. Brush and swap. Step. Change. And now just go there and back again and try to get a sense of flow. So go slow enough. Doesn't need to be totally right. Your hands can do kind of whatever they want to do. Because really, every variation is an option. So underneath what seems like total freedom of movement is the organization of one full and one empty, body upright, relaxation, all movement coming from your middle. So there's principles that we want to learn how to obey, I guess you could say, or comply with, or master even. Right? We can master the principle of body upright and the principle of son. Another principle in Yang style, beautiful lady's hand. Right? It's kind of a fun one. To be one of 5 principles must be kind of important. And what that means, just go ahead and keep exploring as I just explained. It just means your hands loose. So you're not doing this or doing this or doing this. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the hands. You also don't, especially with Parkinson's, you guys know better than me, the sort of cramping in thing. So for you, the application would be extend, extend. Have that as soft as you can, but don't let them be scrunched. Extend, open, so that as we're doing these moves, right, you see how my beautiful lady's hand, my Tai Chi hand, is there. It's not stiff, but it's not collapsed. It's moving. From the middle. Wash. Changing. Now again, you're traveling across the room. You could do this walking backwards. You could do it walking forwards. Just keep in mind, movement from the middle, Dan Tien. Separate empty and full. One needs to be full so the other is empty so you can step. If you don't do that, you basically fall when you take a step. So if I'm only a little bit here and then I go like that, yeah, I didn't fall down, but I fell into my leg. So this just, in your home practice, you might just do a few minutes of just whatever the body wants to do, but think in your head. Movement from the middle, one full, one empty, other full, other empty. Beautiful lady's hands expanding and extending. The bear. Washing paws, the cloud hands, the brush knee, everything we work on in the Friday class, all put to combine with what we're working on here below the belt, right? So hopefully that really starts to make sense. Let's finish with a little self-massage. Hands together. Rub your palms. Rub the back of one hand. Palms. Back of other hand. Palms. And then the wheelhouse, the groin, right on either side there. The hip flexors, fronts of the upper thigh, tail, lower back, and then remembering the sit of the booty, sweep the arms down the outside of the legs, around to the inside, up the inside of the legs to the belly button. Let's do it again. Groin, hip flexors, tail, lower back, outer channels of the legs, outer back side, and then inner front side to the navel, to the belly button. Every time to the belly button, because remember, that's the nexus point, the middle. One more. Groin, hip flexors, tail, lumbar, outer and inner, and belly. Now sweep up the outside of the arm to the shoulder, over the shoulder. Turn the arm palm up and sweep down the inside and off. Come up the outside, turn and come down the inside. Outside, inside, outside, inside. And switch. Outside, inside, out, in. And then we just close this final gesture. Wing, roll, fold, this consolidating gesture, settling all the chi of the body back to its nest, its home in the belly. And then officially closing the practice. 1, 2. All right. Thank you, everybody. Great, great job. If you have any questions or thoughts, you'll have to unmute. So please do. And if you got to run, you got to run. Any thoughts? All righty. Have a good one.
Good class. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Renee. Bye, Mark.
Thanks a lot. Good class.
Yeah.